Namaste everyone, welcome to your own YouTube channel RSV Group of Schools. Today I am going to take chapter number 4, Adaptations for Survival in Plants. Before talking about adaptations, I would like to state what is habitat. Habitat in simple language we can say habitat means home. Place where an organism live or grow naturally is known as habitat. Living in its habitat, plants or animals have to adapt some of the special features, some of the special characteristics inside them. That special characteristics or features which organism develop inside them is known as adaptation. Here I would like to quote one of the simple organism, that is fish. If I am talking about the fish, its home or habitat is water. To live in water, fish requires special characteristic, that is the gills. So that special characteristic is known as adaptation. In this chapter, we are going to talk about the plants. Plants also develop some of the special characteristics. So our habitat, plants habitat has been categorized into two main parts. First is terrestrial and second is aquatic. Plants that live on land are known as terrestrial habitat, and the plants that grow in water is known as aquatic. This terrestrial habitat, its terrestrial plants is again categorized into 5 main categories. First is plain, second is desert, third is hills, fourth is marshy plains, and third is coastal areas. First we are going to talk about the plains. Here the simple example is of mango. Here the climate is hot during the summer and cold during the winters. Trees shed their leaves during the autumn season and bring leaves again come back during the season of spring. The common example is of mango. Now we are going to talk about the desert. Some of the common example that we know about the desert is the cactus. We can see here in the picture that the cactus is commonly found in the desert because there is scarcity of water. Due to the scarcity of water, leaves are converted into spines and the stem becomes fleshy and stores food and water for the plant growth. One more special characteristic in the desert plant is that they have a great root system. The roots are mainly grown deep inside the ground to absorb the water. This is the main characteristic of the desert. Now we are going to talk about the hills. If we talk about the climate of hills, it is very cold and snowfall is very frequent. So the trees that are found in hilly areas or the mountain areas is the pine, fir. They are long, tall, and they are in conical in shape, so that the snow falls frequently, they don't stick on the leaves. Leaves are generally needle in shape. They are having waxy coating, so the transpiration does not occur frequently. Next we are going to talk about the marshy places. If we talk about the marshy places, the soil is very sticky or the soil is clay and due to the presence of more of water. And the mangrove is the most common example. Mangrove is the most common example of marshy places. Here is the water is very largely present. Water is present here, so the roots do not get sufficient air to breathe. So they develop breathing roots. They come out, roots come out from the ground, that is known as breathing roots, so that they get sufficient oxygen to breathe. So mangrove is the common example of marshy places. Next we are going to talk about coastal places, coastal areas. The plants are very well adapted to live with the salty water. The trees that are found here are the coconut, pine, coconut, teak. These are the common trees that are found in coastal areas. These were the examples, these were the characteristics of the terrestrial plants. Now we are going to talk about the aquatic plants. Aquatic plants are those plants that grow in water. It is again characterized into 3 parts, that is floating plants, fixed plants and underwater plants. As the name synthesize, water plants, floating plants. Floating plants are those plants that float on the water. Their roots are fibrous, but the roots are not connected inside the ground. They float on the water and they are having broad leaves. That is green in color. Leaves are green in color, so they do the process of photosynthesis. Common example is water hyacinth. Next we are going to talk about fixed plants. Fixed plants, as the name indicate, their roots are fixed to the ground, and their common example is water lily. Their stem is long, hollow, so that their waves can flow over it and they do not get damaged. Next is the underwater plants. Underwater plants, name indicates that the water is totally submerged inside the water. Example is hydrilla. This is the picture of hydrilla. Leaves are ribbon like, and they are needle shape also. They are generally found inside the water only. So water aquatic plants are characterized into three. That is floating, means they float on water. Common example is water hyacinth. Fixed plants, that is water lily, that they are fixed on the water surface and their leaves are also very broad. Underwater plants means they are submerged inside the water and their leaves are very small in shape and they are needle in shape and forms a ribbon pattern. Thank you.